Hey everyone, welcome back to HO Chronicles. Today's story comes from r/malicious compliance, and this one still gives me chills. After 3 decades of loyal service, a mechanic found himself betrayed by the man he once called a friend, fired just before retirement, his entire pension erased, all because his boss wanted something that wasn't his. He thought he crushed an old man's future, but what he didn't realize was that the mechanic knew every secret buried in that garage, and revenge was already in motion. I spent 32 years under the same roof, an old school auto shop that handled cars most garages wouldn't touch. I'd rebuilt vintage Jaguars, classic Porsches, even a few Ferraris for collectors. Back when the original owner ran things, work was honest and the pay fair. His motto was simple: never cut corners. When his son took over, everything changed. He wore tailored suits and perfume that cost more than my weekly wage. He wasn't a mechanic. He was a businessman, obsessed with image and numbers. The shop still made money, but the soul was gone. I rose to head mechanic, trained every apprentice, handled customers, and basically kept the place running. He trusted me too much, actually, because I started noticing cracks. He'd brag about his new sports car, about the overseas trips, about his investment property. Funny thing, none of that lined up with the books. One night, while he was at a meeting, I went to grab a file from his desk. That's when I saw two ledgers, one clean, one dirty. The first showed normal income. The second was full of cash jobs, fake invoices, and maintenance trips that looked suspiciously like vacations. He was dodging taxes left and right, keeping a hidden stash in his office safe. I didn't say a word. I needed 3 more years to retire. My pension was everything. Then the problem stopped being money and started being personal. He'd met my wife at a company barbecue. She's warm, graceful, and far too kind to someone like him. At first, it was harmless compliments. Then the text started. Tell your wife she looked stunning last night. Soon, he began dropping strange comments during work. You know, she deserves someone who can actually give her the finer things, he'd say with that smug grin. I ignored him until one of the younger guys warned me. You should see what's open on his screen. There it was, messages to a mutual friend saying he was in love with my wife, and he'd get rid of me one way or another. When I confronted him, he laughed. Careful, old man. You don't want to make me angry. Then, in front of the crew, he shouted, You're fired, just like that. No notice, no pension. He smirked as I left. Guess retirement's off the table. For a while, I thought he'd won. Then I remembered his favorite phrase, do everything by the book. So I did. In a way he never imagined. For 3 weekends, I gathered every scrap of proof, invoices, fake receipts, vendor kickbacks, even photos of the hidden safe. I wrote a report so detailed it could have been a manual and sent it straight to the tax authorities. 3 months later, my former apprentice called. They're here, tax agents and police. The boss is losing it. I went down there and stood across the street while they carried out boxes of files. Our eyes met once. He turned pale. He knew he lost everything: house, cars, reputation, and freedom. 7 years for tax fraud. Me? I found a new job at a dealership that actually respected me. Retired comfortably last year. He once told me to keep things above board, so I did. And that's what buried him. Would you have done the same if you were in my shoes? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're enjoying these true revenge stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to HO Chronicles. Now, let's move to the next tale. Before I retired, I worked as a senior developer and project lead for a U.S. division of a big company. My job was to coordinate between teams, fix workflow issues, and make sure deadlines were realistic. Then the company decided to streamline operations by moving all management to the UK. That meant I keep my title, but lose my authority. No more decision making, just coding. Same pay, but no voice because of the 6-hour time gap. My old team still came to me with urgent questions. Out of loyalty, I helped them until my new British supervisor sent a firm email. From now on, all queries must go through UK management. Do not assist directly. All right then. Malicious compliance activated. The next day, my teammates pinged me for help. I replied, sorry, I'm no longer allowed to handle these. Please reach out to your new manager. It took them days to get replies. Deadlines slipped, customers complained, and the UK team scrambled. After 2 weeks of chaos, upper management called a meeting. We need someone local to manage again, they said sheepishly. They offered me the position back with a pay raise. I accepted, of course. Sometimes, the best revenge is doing exactly what they tell you. A few years back, my mental health took a hit. Work stress, long hours, lack of sleep, it all piled up. I asked management for a lighter role, maybe a transfer. They promised to review it soon. Weeks passed. Nothing happened. Then one morning, HR called me in. The head of HR, who happened to be the CEO's wife, slid a paper across the desk. You can face a disciplinary hearing, she said coldly, or take disability leave. I'd been requesting disability for months, so I chose that option. Then she demanded the doctor's paperwork that same day. My doctor had just returned from her own medical leave and was buried in work. Still, I drove 2 hours through traffic to meet her. When I explained what HR had done, she slammed her pen down. Can I be blunt in my response? She asked. Please, I said, be as blunt as you want. Whatever she wrote worked, because HR suddenly changed their tone completely. They gave me an extra week and started checking in politely. A month later, the company lost $1 million client. The same HR lady resigned quietly. Guess karma doesn't always need help. Sometimes it handles itself. Thanks for tuning in to HO Chronicles. If you enjoyed these true stories of poetic justice and clever revenge, hit that like button, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more every single week. Until next time, stay sharp, stay kind, and never underestimate quiet revenge.